So we have the matter side of this. So we have the matter over here, and we're going to kind of shift over. Now we have the energy. So we have this conversion. Now we're going to focus on this energy bit. And we'll be looking at different forms of energy. In this class, the two main types that we'll be looking at are potential energy and kinetic energy. Now, kinetic energy is generally associated with motion or translation with reference to something. So it could be gas molecules moving around, flying around in a container. It could be liquid molecules moving around in the bulk solution. But generally, that's all we'll be looking at. Potential energy can have many flavors. And so we'll look at that a little bit more closely. So potential energy, we can look specifically at thermal energy. Now, thermal energy is a little interesting in that it is technically associated with the random motion of particles. So it is associated with this kind of idea of motion, but it's not. We don't consider it kinetic energy. It's random. And it is a source of potential energy in that we can use thermal energy to transfer between one system and another in such a way that it can be used to do work. So it is in this potential energy. We tend to thermal energy is one of the most common forms of energy we see in this class in terms of a chemical reaction occurring and then energy being released. We tend not to see more like radiation or other types in this class, though they are exist. And so we could also have as a potential energy. So we could have chemical potential energy, which can be associated. And so when we look at interconversions, we can have chemical energy converted to thermal energy. And so chemical energy is specifically looking at chemical structure. So how molecules are bonded together, the overall stability of those molecules, and how we can change bonding to change this stability and therefore this chemical energy. So we can go from high energy to low energy bonds. So we'll look at a lot of that in our thermochemistry chapter. And the last is radiation or radiant energy. And you could think of anything that comes or is radiated from the sun would be a good example of that. So that is electromagnetic radiation. So that could be anything from UV light, in ultraviolet, infrared, visible, X-ray, all the whole entire spectrum. We'll get into this later. Are all different forms of radiant energy. Okay, so that's how we can break down energy into its different components.